Like to say good afternoon. Figured I'd tag a couple of people, but no, I ain't gonna tag nobody. I'm just gonna whoever come in here, they come in here. Like to say good afternoon to all the brothers and sisters, and we're glad to say that we're not through making the video. So we're not through making the video. The time ain't came yet. Good afternoon. Brother Matthew Menard, I don't know if I hollered at you on that last video. And Alphonse, Heron, Crystal Mills. Yeah, all praises. So Brother Matthew, you ready to take off into this video that's titled The Three Stooges? First off, I want to see how many people on the line that we got with us that remember the Three Stooges. Everybody that remember the Three Stooges, type a number 7 in there. Good afternoon, Mahalia. Marcusadik Finch, good morning. Lakrita Bat, good morning. Anthony Carter, good morning. Oh, you finally got me. You know what, Anthony Carter? One of the reasons why you probably got me, and I'm starting to realize this, is that I noticed that on the Facebook updates, they constantly changing things, but I got two old phones that I don't particularly use no more, and but I still got the Wi-Fi on them, so I can still do live videos now. I can't do live videos on my new phone. Can't do live videos where you can invite other people in. I noticed on my old phone, I can still do those things. Okay, all praises to the Most High, Heavenly Father. You never seen the show? You never seen the show? Okay. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was asking these questions. That's one of the reasons why I'm asking these questions. I'm asking them for that reason. Because I want brothers and sisters to be able to follow the videos. Do I got YouTube on this joint? Yeah. I want brothers and sisters to be able to follow the videos. Good afternoon, Brother Chloe Miller. Yeah, Brother Chloe Miller, I know you got my message last time you seen me pick the guitar up, but I need you to start throwing me some little simplistic things that I can practice on so I can start learning, learning some things. I need to learn basic fundamentals about playing. I'd like to play, but since I ain't got nobody to practice with right now, I guess I can just start practicing some other things. So this video gonna be titled The Three Stooges. And I know we got some of our brothers and sisters on there that are not that old. They're not that old, so I just wanted to see. Yeah, I just wanted to see who, those brothers and sisters that don't know anything about the Three Stooges. Then we're going to help you have an understanding of that. Y'all just bear with me. Hey, Brother Montel. Brother Montel, shouts out to our local DJs. Play them feel-good music for brothers and sisters. Give a shouts out to our young kings. Now, we're going to deal with the Three Stooges, and one of the reasons why we're dealing with these things is because everybody don't know the Bible. Everybody don't know Scripture. But there are many people that live in righteous lives apart from the book. That's right. Mo, Larry, Shem was a fill-in. Mo, Larry, and Curly. And then they would bring Shem in anytime any one of them other brothers was absent. So if y'all bear with me 1 second while the brothers and sisters come on the line, I won't be away from the video no more than 2.5 minutes. Just bear with me long enough to run and get my iPad, and I'll be right back. We'll start the video. Move, Midnight. Move, Midnight. Move, move, move. Ain't nothing in there. Come on out here, Midnight. Come on. Come on. You'll eat later. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on. Get your butt outside. Come on. I'll bring you some food in a minute. Get out. All that meow and meow. You gonna eat. Okay. You right. You right, Brother Micah. This is going to be good. So, we have many brothers and sisters that are being completely turned off as other brothers and sisters learn the scripture. Because they learn the scripture and then they lose the ability to think for themselves. They lose the ability to have a regular conversation with people. And what they do is that stagnate the growth of brothers and sisters that have a desire to learn, but the information is making people take off and get so far ahead of it that they are, what the heck. So these are going to be some simplistic videos so we can help our brothers and sisters not only identify and be able to comprehend things that are biblical by the things that they see every day, but it's also going to show our brothers and sisters on the flip side that think they have arrived at the grand sum total of the Most High's will. It's going to show them how far off they are. The whole point of the videos is that all of us might grow a little bit, that all of us might be provoked to some thought. Sister McHenry, I ain't doing nothing, just sitting down, get ready to make a video. Yeah. What you up to? Of course not. Oh no, but yeah, I did. I had to go get me I had to send for me a birth certificate and stuff like that. But I got everything that I need. It's just a matter of me getting out there, getting it done. I am. It got to be done. It's gonna change. The law gonna change in October. So I plan to get out there as soon as my season changes. When I get out here and start making some money, I'll be able to get out there and get it taken care of. Yeah. No, it ain't. It ain't. $30 is a lot to come across when you ain't making no money. So, but I'm gonna get it taken care of. Okay. This is my big sister. My big sister be on me when it comes to taking care of business. So, but I ain't gonna be running around. I tell her I ain't gonna be calling you down there. You down in Oklahoma. You come to Kansas City. I ain't about to be begging from you like that. So, okay, now. So what we saying, these videos gonna get done so that our brothers and sisters can start having a better comprehension of the scripture. And we also gonna show our brothers and sisters how, if you moving too fast, then you're gonna stagnate your own growth. So to our brothers and sisters that don't know anything about the Three Stooges, then hopefully we'll be able to bring you into some knowledge concerning those brothers. Just let me get my stuff set up. So once we get the flowing with the video, this set of videos is going to be different from the videos that we have previously been doing, because generally when we do the videos, we generally have nothing but scripture, but we're going to start trying to do things like the Messiah did them and start using some earthly examples, what we'll come to know as parables, to help brothers have a better understanding. So, let's go. Okay. Okay. Let me set this video up right here. And I want to set it up where it can be seen. Set it up where it can be seen. For those brothers and sisters that don't know anything about the Three Stooges,
pull down all the shades. See that the coast is clear. Come on. Hold the light. Hey, quiet. Sandpaper. A bonanza. Oh, I just love bonanzas and cream. Oh, boy, look. Hurry, I can hardly wait. Okay. Ham and egg. Ham and egg? What? The neighbors can't see in. The shades are down. Oh, boy. If those Japs ever knew how many planes we turned out today, their yellow jaundice would turn green. Well, hurry, I can hardly wait. Yeah, quit stalling. I'm so hungry I can eat a horse. What do you guys think you've been eating for the last month? Oh, no wonder every time I sneeze I neigh like a horse. You make the coffee, Porcupine. You slice some bread, Empty Skull. I'll do the ham and egg. Cabbage Head. And don't forget, divide everything up equally. Don't worry. You'll get what's coming to you. Well, hurry, I can hardly wait. Relax. Rest a bit. You're tired. Here. Oh! Hey, quit stalling. I'm really hungry. Oh, would you like to have a little bite? Oh, yeah. Close your eyes and open your mouth. Yeah, come on, get busy. Jammer. Where'd you hide that ham? What ham? Quit stalling, come on. Oh, mustard. What a slice of ham. Pardon me. I thought you was a ham. I never saw a slice of ham with fingers. That's all right, kid. Anybody can make a mistake.
Oh, so you understand?
Oh, I certainly...
Oh, thank you very much.
Clean this ham.
Clean it when I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, now that just to give you just a upcap of what stooges are and who they were. The Three Stooges was three guys that they would always go out on a mission with a purpose, but it never got done because they would be so busy fighting each other and clowning around. And what happened is that the Three Stooges, as we used to watch it, it used to bring us laughter because it was comedy. Now, when we start talking about the stooges of the world, we're going to look at the scriptures and we're going to show you what stooges in the world are. Stooges in the world are religious constructs. Religious constructs that proclaim one thing, but then as they go out into the world, they become a laughing stock to everybody that's onlooking. All right? And that's what we're going to deal with. Shalom, King Reddick. That's what we're going to deal with. So the first one we're going to deal with, we're going to start off, we're going to identify the three. We're going to identify the three religious constructs in the world, which really don't need no identification, but we're going to identify them using the scripture. We're going to identify not just them, but we're going to also identify what their purpose would be in the world. And then we're going to show you something that will come in and then stagnate the purpose of the people in the earth that God gave responsibility for the world. So let's start with Genesis chapter 21. That's going to be our starting point. Genesis chapter 21 is where we're going to start. Hey, Stevie Clark. We're dealing with the Three Stooges. Okay? So that's what it's going to be. Genesis chapter 21 says, this is going to identify two specific people. All right? And the Lord visited Sarah, and he said, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age at that time set, which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah would bear, Isaac. Now, God promised Abraham that he will have a son, Isaac. Isaac will have a son, Jacob. Jacob will have a son, 12 sons that will become the children, the 12 tribes of Israel. They will be known in the Bible as the children of Israel. Now, these sons will be born based on the promise that God had made to Abraham. Let's go there. Let's go look at the promise that God made Abraham, because we're going to be able to identify the stooges are going to come out of Abraham's loins. Now, we passed the point of people disagreeing with stuff. We way past that. So people can take whatever they want to take, but we know that somebody gonna be blessed by it. Lisa Roberts, what's going on, girl? Let's go to let's see. I ain't got my main man with me today. but we'll manage. I ain't in no hurry. Oh, dang it. I'm in the wrong place, that's why. Okay. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 22. We're still in Genesis chapter. Going to Genesis 22 chapter, 22nd chapter. Now, here's the promise that God made to Abraham, that in his seed, and in thy seed, I'm going to make you the father of many nations, and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So, he is telling Abraham, I'm going to make you the father of many nations on the earth. And I'm going to put something in your children that's going to cause all the other families of the earth to be blessed. So that's going to be the purpose of Abraham's children, that they will make God known to all of the people that's on the earth. Now, so we go back. So Abraham has Isaac. Isaac was the promised child that he said that he was going to bless him with. But it's only one problem with that. When God told Abraham that he was going to bless him, Abraham was almost 100 years old and his wife was like 90. Well, we put it like this. He told him that when they was much younger, and probably about 40 years went past and they still didn't have no baby. So they put a scheme in motion to where they could produce a kid on their own according to God's promise. So Abraham's wife Sarah got her handmaid, Hagar, the Egyptian woman, and she told her husband, hey, look, it's Israelite custom. I can't say that it's Israelite custom because ain't no Israelites on the earth yet. But they had a custom and it came from somewhere. They said, well, Abraham, you can have sex with my maid, and then when she get pregnant and had a child, then that be our child. So basically, Abraham's wife enticed Abraham to allow Sarah to become a surrogate mother. All right? Now, this happened before God fulfilled his promise. So, even though it starts right here in 21 where it said God fulfilled his promise that he made to Sarah, this is after. Well, some things that happened before that, and we got to look at them. So let's go down to, let's go over here to verse 9 says, and Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian. Now Sarah, Abraham's wife, she let the maid have Abraham's child. And Abraham's child is growing up. Now, it says now, when Sarah saw the son of Hagar, Hagar's son was Ishmael, and Ishmael would be the first son of Abraham. So it says now, when she saw the son of Hagar, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking, wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be an heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let not it be grievous in the sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah had said unto thee, hearken to the voice of thy wife. And also, the son of the bondwoman, I also will make a great nation. Now, you have to understand is that first Abraham listened to his wife, and he got in trouble because it made them go against God's promise. Now Sarah want to get rid of the son that Abraham then came to love because that is his son. And now God is telling him, listen to your wife. Get rid of your son. I'll make him a great nation anyway. There is more there than meet the eye, man, because you're talking about the woman now that enticed you to do something, and now you come to love something that came from that, and now the Most High is telling you to get rid of it. So the point that I'm making here is that the first son was Ishmael, okay? Now, the Most High's promise is that he was going to make Ishmael into a great nation. That he did. Now, let's see some things that pertaining to the purpose of Ishmael as he came in. Because as I said before, we're talking about three. And what we're going to see is we're going to show you how three things that have purpose can easily become three stooges that will cause the whole world to be a laughingstock. And we're dealing with Ishmael because Ishmael is the firstborn son of Abraham. And he was the one that received the first promise according to the things that God promised Abraham. He said, get rid of the bondwoman. Get rid of the bondwoman. And I'm going to make your son into a great nation. Let's continue to read. And God said, it said, and the thing was very grievous in the sight of Abraham because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah has said unto thee, hearken to the voice of thy wife. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman I will make a great nation because of his seed, because of thy seed. Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under the shrubs. And she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of God called unto Hagar out of heaven. Here's one of the things I want brothers and sisters to take notice of. Because now what you're dealing with is you're dealing with the prophetic promise of the Ishmaelites, the descendants of Ishmael, who by Ishmaelites and the descendants of Ishmael would come into the modern day world, the Muslims. All right. It says right here, it says this is long before any prophet, Muhammad. This is long before any of the Roman Catholicism. This is long before any of that stuff. So that's why we're trying to draw lines of distinction between what the Most High did in the beginning versus what came in at a later date and a later time. It says, and God heard the voice of the lad. All through the Bible, you see that same thing. And God spoke this. And God said that. And God told the children of Israel to do this. And God spoke that. And God told Noah. And God told Abraham. And God told Isaac. And God told Ezekiel. Well, here in this particular passage, it says, and God heard the voice of Abraham's child, Ishmael. And the angel of God called unto Hagar out of heaven, and said to her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God had heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up thy lad, and hold him in thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and she filled the bottle up with water. This is for anybody that would try and deny that Abraham's firstborn son, Ishmael, would not have a purpose in this world according to the things that the Most High have spoken. Now, that is the first one. The second one is Isaac. He told Abraham, he said, and this thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son Ishmael. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said, hearken unto thee. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. He told Abraham, ain't no need in being mad, ain't no need in being heartbroken. He said, listen, I'm going to make a great nation out of your son Ishmael. I'm going to make a great nation out of him. He said, but don't be grievous, because your promise, the promise that I'm making you, is going to be in your seed, Isaac. It's going to be in your seed, Isaac. So now you got two. You got Ishmael and you got Isaac. And each one of them are going to have a purpose based on the promise that was made to their father, Abraham. In thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now let's go look at the third one. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. Let's go look at the third one now. We're going to look at the third one now. Acts 11th chapter.
According to Wikipedia.
Now, we got two. We got Ishmael with his promise to be a great nation. We got Isaac with his promise to be the seed that the promise would lie in. Through Isaac would come Jacob. Through Jacob would come another 12 sons. Why do I say another 12 sons? Because he was going to make Ishmael into a great nation too. 12 princes would this nation bring forth. Isaac is going to have Jacob. Jacob is going to bring forth 12 sons. Those 12 sons would become the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. When you combine the two, you see the prophetic promises that the Most High promised Abram to make him the father of many nations come to fruition. But that's only two. Let's go look at the third one that will come out of the loins of Abraham. Only this one would not come out of the loins of Abraham from the standpoint of bloodline. This one will come out of the loins of Abraham based on the promise that was made to him and the purpose that was given to the seed which was come through Isaac. So, let's look at what it says. Matthew chapter 28 and 19 is the pronounced destiny and purpose of the 12 sons of Israel as the Messiah, or who the sons of Ishmael come to know as the sinless prophet. It says, go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe whatsoever things I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end. Well, when those children of Israel fulfilled this prophecy right here, they gave birth to the first fruits of the promise of Abraham that was concerning everything outside of the seed. So let's see what it says. And when he had found him, we're talking about Barnabas, then departed Barnabas to Tarsus to seek for Paul. Barnabas and Paul are Israelites that are moving according to what the Messiah said. Go into all the world, now start teaching men and make disciples out of all men. He said, and when they had found him, they brought him to Antioch, and it came to pass that they taught a whole year. They assembled themselves. The church, which was in Jerusalem, sent word to those Israelites that were scattered abroad upon the persecution of Stephen to get Barnabas and Paul, and then now start going into all the world to teach men and to make men known of the observances of the Messiah. And this is where they at. So it said the church assembled itself in Antioch. And they taught the people of Antioch for a whole complete year. And at this particular time, all of those pale-faced Greek-speaking people that were being taught by the Israelites, they were first given the name or called themselves Christians. Then, now you're watching another group of people get birthed into existence. Now you have the sons of Ishmael, who were prophesied to be a great nation. And let's look at some of the purpose of Ishmael. Let's look at some of the purpose of Ishmael. Verse 16th chapter of Genesis, verse 12 declares, even though Ishmael is going to be a great nation, and he shall be a wild man, and his hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand shall be against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren. That meant that Ishmaelites and Israelites would walk hand in hand in the same region or geographical location. They would not be in the same geographical location as the one that is to be born at a later time that will call himself Christian. He is the one that the promised seed, Isaac, by Israel will go and get. But it says Ishmael shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him. It does not mean that Ishmael would be some detestable person on the earth. No, he is Abraham's child. It simply meant that Ishmael would not be able to be brought up under the ideologies of men or other nations. No other nation would be able to rule Ishmael. Ishmael understood that he had a purpose, and his purpose would be to stand outside of everything that everybody else was doing. And right now to this day, you see the same thing. But being that he would dwell in the presence of his brothers, that means that he would know exactly who his brethren were. He would know exactly who his brothers were. His brothers was Israelites. He would dwell in the presence of his brothers. And when we start looking at some of the things that are contained, when we start looking at some of the things that are contained in some of the writings that have been written, then we can have a greater understanding of these particular things. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. And I got to figure out how to get back home, because I want to show you something else. Now, so my message is going to be very simplistic. How do I get, okay, that's how I get back. Okay, so let's look at something else. Let's look at some of the things that are contained where Ishmael is concerned. It says, now the Holy Quran asks us not only to believe in our holy prophet, but also in the prophets who had come prior to his advent. We Muslims are interested not only in the revelation that was given to humanity through our prophet, but also the revelations which were given to the prophets previous to him. Among the prophets who had appeared before our holy prophet, which their holy prophet is Muhammad, he said the Quran has emphasized the importance to the Muslims of the prophet Jesus, which is the one that the Muslims declare as the sinless prophet that came with a purpose to the world. Now, before anybody go off into any of this science fiction, like my mighty Hebrews say, any of this spooky crap, where y'all think that we don't understand the different dialects of tongues and the different names, I'm reading things as they are written in the English language. So before anybody go there, do yourself a favor. Don't stagnate what's about to be said, trying to enlighten or educate somebody on something that you just learned. It says Jesus was no doubt sent with a mission to the Israelites. He also had a universal mission in Surah Abiyah. The holy prophet has been termed in verse 107. Now, basically, what we're trying to show you is that Abraham, both of Abraham's sons, they were not foreigners and they were not strangers. They walked together, they dwell in the same region. The Muslim and the Israelite were brothers, okay? Now, later on, through the mandate of Jesus, would tell the Israelites, now go into all the world and make disciples out of men that dwell outside of your region. Teach them to observe the things that I have commanded you. Now, when you start talking about the things that he had commanded us, you got to understand, just like what the Ishmaelites are saying, he said they have been taught not only to observe the things that came by way of their prophet, because there had a great nation of people too. Because of the promise of Abraham, they would be connected. What sense would it make for God to promise Abraham that all the families of the earth would be blessed and then leave Abraham's firstborn son out? You see how stupid that sounds? And I want y'all to understand that that's why we're about to go into the place where we're dealing with three stooges. Because the three stooges are dealing with the three main people that will be connected to the promise of Abraham, but at the same time, they would lose their purpose through religious constructs. That is the three stooges that we're talking about. We're talking about the Ishmaelite who had a purpose. And even in the beginning, when we start looking in the Quran, we come to understand that Ishmael understood and knew his purpose. Ishmael would be the brother of the Israelites, his brother Isaac, who the promise would be given to, but he wouldn't be left out of that, because penned in that holy Quran, you find a period in time where the Ishmaelites, because they were older, they were a greater nation. They were more of a vast nation, but they understood the purpose of his younger brother. Henceforth, they would become protectors. And above all the nations that were on the earth, they would seek that the children of Israel would be their instructors, because they understood the promise that was given to Isaac that would come through Israel. But they would not be able to be brought up under any man's ideology or any man's foolishness. So at one point, you will see them declare to be protectors of the nation of Israel, so long as they were walking according to the purpose and the promise that was given to Abraham. But at the same time, when Israel veered away from that purpose that had been given to them, they will also become a rod of chastisement, sort of the same way that an older brother chastise a younger brother when a younger brother veer off. Now, when we bring when we bring Christianity into play, now you start talking about a chain of events that's going to take place that will come far later. So once the Christianity comes into play, Israel now have to receive judgment for their past failures. Once they are taken out of their land, now you see prophecies about the spring forth that's about to be dealing with what's going to cause us as a people, as three units, three entities in this earth, going to cause us to cease from our purpose and our responsibility and go into a place to where all three of us become laughing stocks to the wicked that are ruling this world. No? Now, Luke 21st chapter, beginning at the 20th verse, the Messiah gives a prophecy to Israel because of their disobedience. He said, these be the days of vengeance, that all things that are written must be fulfilled. He said, they shall fall by the edge of the sword, then they shall be led away as captives into all nations. And then shall the holy city be trodden down by the Gentiles. He said, you got to take your punishment. He said, oh, you're going to be taken out of your land. And then while you're taken out of your land, there was a group of people that's going to come in your land, and they're going to start changing some things. Henceforth, so you got some prophecy that went before. Let's go here. Let's look at the prophecy that went before, because we're just going to walk you through this stuff so that we can bring that Three Stooges thing all the way home. So, let's go. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Yeah, well, see, the Arabs, you see, when you start talking about Arabs, you see, that's like you saying Negro. That's like you saying Negro. Look what the Negro done. There's a big difference between the Negro and the Israelite. And there's a big difference between Ishmael and those people that's called the Arabs. They may be one and the same, but what separates them is that at one point, God will call Jacob, and in the same sentence or the same breath, he will call him Israel. Because long as you operate in the purpose, in your God-given purpose that the Most High give you, you'll operate according to the name that was attached to your purpose and your promise. So 1 minute you might be Ishmael, 1 minute you might be Israel, and the next minute you might be Jacob. The next minute you might be something else. So don't get hooked up on the terminology. Listen to what's being said. Because right now, in this moment in time, you know what? People can say what they want, but you can't draw no lines of distinction between nothing that people call themselves and put no label on them for wherever they are. Not even us. Now, we can lay claim to that because we don't have no name. And it's the fact that we don't have no name and all of these things that happen to us that brings us into contact with who we are. But there are many people on the planet. There are many people on the planet that are Negro descent and don't know that they're Negro. Many people on the planet still that are Israelite descent don't know that they're Israelite descent. Well, it's the same way in anything else. So let's not get sidetracked from the point we're trying to make. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64 is one of the reasons why the prophecies and the prophets are so important. It says, then the Lord shall scatter you among all people from one end of the earth unto the other, and there you shall serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers known. Gods which would be represented by wood and by stone. You see, the stone, the cobblestone of Islam, don't have anything to do with the promise that God put on Ishmael. You see, the cobblestone of Islam caused the purpose that was given to Ishmael to cease because it became a religious construct. Now, the Roman Catholicism, after Israel was taken out of the land would be trampled by Romans. So even those people, those early Christians that were there, that came in at the hands of the Israelite, they ceased to be what they were supposed to be. You know why? Because they had to turn their back on their whole culture. They had to be adopted into the family of Israel. That means that when they accepted the teachings of the Israelites, they became Israel by adoption, but they would just have pale faces. But they had to turn their back on their whole culture. Now, what you think happened to those people? Once they seen the people that was teaching them all those good things getting overran, getting killed, getting set on fire, getting taken out their land and sold into slavery, what you think happened to those people that received, that was called Christians first at Antioch? What you think happened to them? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll tell you what happened to them. Either they were murdered, either they were thrown into the same lion pits, either they were killed just like the Israelites was killed, or either they recanted everything that they said they believed in so that they could continue to live, and they blended back in to their culture. And through that time, you see the birth of Roman Catholicism, which would now hijack the word Christianity, because it would destroy the people that was genuine Christians, but it would hijack that. It hijacked the word Christianity, and now you got Roman Catholicism in the world. You see? Now, when you start talking about at this particular time came religions, there was no religions. There wasn't no religions like that. There wasn't no religions. These people wasn't moving by no religions while Israel was over there in his land. They wasn't moving by no religions. When you start talking about people going into a land that they don't know and their forefathers never know, there they was going to serve other gods of wood and stone. Don't you think if they were serving wood, if they were serving a cobblestone in Islam, Israel would have been familiar with that? But the Bible makes it clear that what they would serve, they wouldn't be familiar with. So there wasn't no cobblestone when the Israelites was in their own land. The cobblestone came and caused a purpose of the Ishmaelites to cease, because now that was a religious institution that was morphed into existence. Christianity, Roman Catholicism. Christianity was not a religion. Roman Catholicism is a religion that hijacked that pure thing that those first early Greek-speaking people got a hold to and put that label on there. So now you didn't know nothing about that. When we was in our homeland, we didn't know nothing about no Roman Catholicism. And those people that was called Christians, they was only called that by what they was getting from us. So we didn't have no problem with that name back then. That name represented a people that had turned their back on their whole culture. We didn't have no problem with that. But when Israel got taken out the land, now the group of people came over and tripled everything. And now they are the ones that started putting religion in the place. You can look in the Quran and you can see what would be the purpose of the Most High for people. You can look in the Bible and you can see what would be the purpose of the Most High for people. You can look in the Bible and see what was meant to be a purpose for people to be able to come in from the outside into Abraham's blessing. You can see those things clearly. But here's what you got to ask yourself. When you're looking at the world that you are living in, is that what you see? Oh no, that's not what you see. Because the one that called themselves Muslims now, or one of the three stooges, the one that called themselves Israelites, or one of the three stooges, the one that called themselves Christians, or one of the three stooges. Well, how do you know? Because the wicked that's ruling the world sit back and laugh at all three of them that claim to be God's mouthpiece. But every time you turn around, the Israelite is smacking the Christian in the mouth. The Christian is smacking the Muslim in the mouth. The Muslim is smacking somebody else in the mouth. And can't none of them get along. Even though all of them, when they first came here, they came with one purpose in mind. That was to spread out into their own arenas and then blanket the world with those things that had been promised to their father Abraham as a means that the whole globe might be changed and come to know the Most High. But that's not what you see in the earth. Is that what you see in the earth? Oh, no. What you see is Curly the Christian want to be the dominant one. He want to be the one. But he got just much fool in him as Mo, the Israelite. Oh, he want to be the one. He want to be. But he got just as much foolishness and nonsense in him as his brother, Larry, the Muslim, which wants to be the dominant one in the world. You see? It's either way it go. It ain't no way out. And when you start talking about people trying to look and trying to understand the scripture and things like that, listen, let me tell you something. Ain't nobody got no monopoly on the Most High. Ain't no religious construct got no more monopoly on the Most High's will than I, as one mortal man, got a monopoly on it. But that's not what the world say. You look at the Christian and you say, hey, we got spokespersons in the world. Okay, you got a spokesperson in the world. Oh, but you'll put a Donald Trump in there. You'll put an Obama in there. You'll put somebody in there that'll write homosexual laws. You'll put somebody in there that'll write laws and that'll do everything as opposition of the very Bible that you say you believe in. Oh, you'll tell everybody, oh, this is the Bible say we ought to love each other. But you don't love nobody outside. Anybody that got brown skin, you don't have no love for. Yet you claim to be God's mouthpiece in the world. You say you mouthpiece, God's mouthpiece in the world, Curly the Christian, but you'll be the one that's causing people to die through destruction and war and conquest all over the world. You'll call yourself God's mouthpiece, but you'll institute the very institution that fulfill the prophecy that the Most High told one group of people, your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people. You'll lay claim to be a Christian, but you'll institute a wicked government that the Division of Family Services will come in and take the children of another people. Oh, you'll claim to be the mouthpiece of the Most High, Curly the Christian, but you'll put people on ships. You'll kill 100 million Indians. You ain't never did anything in this world that exemplifies the Father's righteousness, but you'll get on there and declare by Democratic and Republican and the evangelicals of this nation that you're God's people, and you'll lay hands on somebody they ain't never prayed, somebody they ain't never repented, somebody they ain't never did nobody no good. They ain't never cared nothing about nobody. You'll claim that you're God's mouthpiece, but that's not being exemplified in the world. You're fumbling around and you're a stooge. No different than the stooge, the Israelite. Oh, you find out what your name is, but you ain't living by what you say. You ain't living what your forefathers did. If your forefathers was that raggedy that got them tossed into captivity, what make you think that you can somehow be better than they were? What make you think that you ain't gonna go to, oh, you'll say that, I'll learn all the scriptures, I'll quote all the scriptures, and then I'll go get me 5 wives and be lazy and put all of them to work while I sit around and twiddle my thumbs like I'm some type of pimp. Oh, you'll say that you're God's mouthpiece, but soon as somebody come and say something to you that don't line up with what you believe, you mad, you in your feelings. Oh, you'll be talking about Yeshua one minute, and then you'll be cursing somebody out the next minute, and you're talking about your God's mouthpiece, and we walk around with our fringes and still turn the porno flicks on. We'll walk around with our meat hats and still mistreat somebody and can't get along with the people in your own house. You'll say that you're God's mouthpiece, but you can never fulfill the blessing of Abraham because you can't never get over the things that you have been through, which came by your own foolish hands. You can't never get past the other nations and how wretched and how raggedy that they have been. So how you going to be God's mouthpiece? It's the same way with our Muslim brothers, Larry. Our Muslim brothers, Larry, that we say that we're Muslim, but when the real people that call themselves Muslims look at us, they are laughing at us. We are the laughing stock. Oh, you'll call yourself a Muslim, but you'll come in the community to the Israelite, your brother, and you'll sell him pork when you know that God forbids that. You'll sell him tobacco. You'll sell him all the things that are going to make him sick and die. You'll come in his community and you'll rob and rape him for all of his resources. Then you'll turn around and spit in his face. You'll come to his community and you'll try to make sarcastic comments to his woman and all of those type of things. But you say that you're God's mouthpiece. You'll strap a bomb on you and go over there and blow somebody up that ain't even bothering you. You'll do all of those things, but you God's mouthpiece. And guess what's happening? Guess what's happening? Satan that deceive the whole world, that don't care about anybody. It's the audience that's standing behind the scenes, ruling the world, taking advantage of all the good things in the world, taking advantage of everything. And he's sitting back laughing. He said, look at the three stooges. Look at the Christian. Look at the Israelite. Look at the Muslim. All of them was created with a purpose. Look at them. Don't none of them know what they're supposed to be doing. Every time you turn around, they smacking each other and making jokes on each other. They claim that they God's mouthpiece, but they can't even walk together in cohesiveness. Look at the three stooges. Look at them. Look at the three stooges. Because when we start dealing with the book, we're not dealing with no religion. You can't put no religion, you can't connect no religion to God's word. How you gonna connect religion to God's word? Who is that to tell me, because I don't go to their church, I'm on my way to hell? Really? Who gonna tell me that? Who gonna run around and tell me that? What you gonna tell me, Israelite? I ain't keeping all of God's laws. I'm on my way to hell. Well, you on your way to hell, and so is everybody else with that mindset. Because if your forefathers couldn't do it, if Abraham couldn't do it, Isaac couldn't do it, Jacob couldn't do it, neither none of his 12 sons that you ain't never seen before, if Ezekiel couldn't do it, Jeremiah couldn't do it, Isaiah couldn't do it, Obadiah couldn't do it, Nahum couldn't do it, are you thou better than your forefathers? Are you better than the prophets? Tell me that I ain't a part of your religious construct. I'm a coon. Tell me that I don't believe in Allah. If I don't know how to say Allah Akbar, Allah is great. If I don't know how to say, if I don't believe in Allah, then I'm an infidel. And I'm worthy of death. Who are you? You're worthy of death yourself. Because the Most High says, thou shalt not kill. And this one thing that I've seen over the years, that the Christian and the Muslim ain't never had a problem killing. The Christian, the Muslim, and the Israelite, they ain't never had a problem breaking the first law, the embodiment of the eternal, everlasting law of love, breaking the first one. And got the nerve not to be running around here talking about I'm God's mouthpiece. How you gonna be God's mouthpiece when you got an unseen enemy standing behind the shadows, provoking each other to destroy each other? How you gonna declare that you love the Most High? How you gonna declare that you the Most High's mouthpiece when the promise that was made to Abraham was that in him will all of his children come out to be a blessing to all the people on the earth. And the promise was made to Abraham based on the restoration of our father Adam, who the original promise was given to be restored. All of these other things are part of the process. And you become a stooge when you allow yourself to get stuck in somebody's church, sitting up under a man that's here today, but to be dead tomorrow. Sitting up under a man that's telling you not to fornicate, but in some other woman's bed. Sitting up under a man. It's the same thing, sitting up under a man in the Israelite community as he tell you need to pay him for some tickets to come to a Passover. Sitting up under that foolishness. Sitting up under some man when we're supposed to be taking our cues from the Most High and from the Scripture. But because religion had crept in, it was two religions got put on the earth, but all three will become a part of them. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people of the earth, from the one end of the earth unto the other. There you shall be absorbed into religious constructs, which would be represented by the fallen purpose of your brother Ishmael. And he would become a worshiper of a rock that fell from heaven. He said, and you will be absorbed into a construct of represented by wood that symbolizes the authority of the Roman government that crucified and murdered your brother. And they said, we conquered him while he was living, and now we'll conquer him in death. He said, and now there's two constructs. But all three people have become victims of them. Henceforth, when it comes to Satan and his kingdom that's standing behind the shadows, you have become the three stooges, because we are the audience that the wicked world is laughing at. We are the audience that said, go on and let them believe what they want to believe. Go on and let them believe in the rock. Go on and let them believe in a wooden cross. Go on and let them believe in their ancestral lineage. Go on and let them get hooked up in all that mess. And all the time while we're doing it, we'll steadily be throwing stuff out there so they can fight against each other. And while they're fighting against us, we'll be back there laughing. And that's what they said. We say, like the Carrie movie, they're all going to laugh at you. And that's what they're doing. They laughing at the Christian through Roman Catholicism. They laughing at the Israelite through Israelite heritage. They laughing at the Ismailite through Islam. They laughing at everybody. That's why I call them the Three Stooges. That's why. That doesn't exemplify the life of the prophet. You see? That doesn't exemplify the life of the prophet. You see, the life of the prophet, the life of the so-called sinless prophet, according to our Islamic brothers, that ain't what he exemplified. According to our Israelite brothers, that's not what he exemplified. According to them that call themselves Christians, there would be no Christians if it wasn't for what he exemplified in the earth. But everybody ain't exemplifying what he exemplified. When he was here, it said that he was taught in the temples of Jerusalem, up under the elders. He said after he got a certain age, he journeyed back down into the land of Egypt that Moses dwelt in. And he learned all of the mysteries of the Egyptian. He said, and then he went back to Jerusalem for a little while. He said, and then he left there and he journeyed over there into the land of the Assyrians and learned what the Assyrians had. He learned all the things from all of the nations because he understood what his purpose was to be. And then he went into Asia, up on the Asian temples, and sat up under the Asian temples, up under the Asian priests, and learned from them. And every step of the way, when he got to Assyria, he was laying hands on people and healing people. When he journeyed into Egypt, he was laying hands and he was healing people. When he got into all them foreign places that he was going to go to learn the different cultures and the different mysteries of the different things that the Most High have done to the people on the earth, he said his power was made manifest amongst all of them in the world. You tell me that that's being exemplified. Tell me that it's being exemplified. How can it be exemplified when a Christian and an Ishmaelite or a Muslim can't sit down and have a conversation without one of them getting mad about what the other one believes? How you going to tell me that you're exemplifying the Most High's righteousness when an Israelite can't sit down with the Christian without one of them getting mad about what it is that they believe, breaking out in the argument, breaking out in the fight, and at the same time, the whole world is looking. Satan and his kingdom is looking and say, we got him on the ropes now, baby, but we ain't letting them out. Bring in the fools and let the fools bring us entertainment. You think the Rockefellers have been affected? You think the Rothschilds have been affected? You think Goldman Sachs? You think any of these people, Lehman Brothers? You think any of these people that's hiding behind the shadows, representing the seed of Satan, you think any of them people have been affected? No, they ain't been affected, but we ain't been nothing short of entertainment for them. Bring in the stooges. Bring in the stooges. And I know messages like this don't go over that big, you know. They don't go over that big because everybody get in their own little box. They get in their own little box. And they don't understand. Ain't no man can comprehend the mind of the Most High. Till you can explain to me how that sun that was there when he first created everything is still there. Unchangeable. Ain't never had a cold. Ain't never been sick. Ain't never took a day off. Ain't never failed to do what it was commanded to do the minute it was created. Even though thousands and thousands and thousands and maybe millions, maybe billions, maybe even trillions of years have went by. But that sun up there is a living testament of the everlasting righteousness of the Most High. What person could come with their finite religious construct and man-made written books to give me an explanation of how that is still there? how it's still being upheld by the Most High's righteousness? Tell me that. What can your preacher come and tell me about the very air that he's breathing in and exhaling out? What can he tell me about that? That the air from the day that God gave it life is still here doing the same thing, up under the same obedience that it always been on. What man coming over there worshiping a rock can help me to understand how the tree and the grass that the Most High called to have life when he created it, still here, thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon billions, and though I speaking today will be dead tomorrow, that tree is still gonna live on. What person worshiping a rock can come and help me to understand where the rock came from, who made the rock, how the rock hears? What man that's worshiping the rock can make me understand how can the rock have ears to hear when the Most High said, I'll speak to that rock and that rock will get up and praise me? What man can help me to understand the dialect of a rock talking back to the Most High? What joker talking about the Sabbath, talking about the Passover? Which one of them jokers can come and speak to those animals in the ocean that the Most High can call and tell them, let everything in the sea, everything that inhabits the sea, let it praise me? What man telling me about his forefather law could help me to understand how though things die in the ocean have never ceased to bring forth the life that it had since the very day that it was created? Oh yeah, I know, I already know. See, when you get stuck in that little box, you got some unwarranted righteousness added to yourself to where men love preeminence because we are stooges. But look at the stooges. Imagine how God feels when he looks at us. Imagine how God feels when he looks down us. And imagine how God feels when he look at the condition that the world is in. Imagine how God feels about his people that's declaring, I'm the chosen one. I'm the chosen seed of Israel. When you can't even make the choice to get up and go to work on a daily basis. What does God feel about the chosen people of Israel that's still steeped in poverty, still on welfare, still on food stamps, still unemployed, still ain't got no housing, still ain't got no cars, still can't pay lights, gas, and water, still can't pay rent, but you're the chosen one. Oh yeah, you're the chosen one. You're the chosen one in your own mind. But behind the shadows, Satan and his kingdom is sitting back laughing because they are the audience and they're witnessing everything that's being said. Yet the world is not changing. I'm going to end the video right there.